All right. Good morning, my bows and bow ties. So, let me see how the hair looks today. All right. I titled this, "Why Do You Run Your Mouth After a Friendship Ends?" I may clean up the title later. I need to add a real thumbnail, but since I'm doing this from my mobile device, it's, whatever. So, I'm the Black Opinionated woman, also known as B.O.W. So, welcome to my channel for those of you who are new to my channel. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be a short one today. So, I was going to do a video on some womanhood things. And I decided for just like a wild hair, I'm like, it's related to womanhood. But I wanted to talk about what happens once friendships end. Now, no, I did not have a friendship end, but there's always things that make me think of like various topics. Sometimes I'll see something on television, or maybe when in group conversations about anything and everything, something will spark a topic. And it got me thinking about when friendships end. Whether you watch television or you've experienced this thing before, I guess what I'm saying is maybe we need to start evaluating ourselves, right? We should start evaluating ourselves, being introspective. Now, I've seen this multiple times, actually, even before friendships end. So let me just say this. I remember I was watching, I can't remember if it was a year ago or maybe 2 years ago. There was a moment on Real Housewives of Atlanta where someone was running their mouth and was telling some of Kenya's business. And they were like, wait a second, I don't really rock with her, but you're not going to tell her business, even as juicy as it may be. It made me think of also a time when I was working with someone and she had done something that I thought was just like, okay, I can't have a relationship with this person. And it's interesting because during the time frame when I was assessing whether or not I wanted to open up who I was and my life more to this person, I would see these red flags. This person would share quite a bit of information about her friendships. And it was just kind of awkward because I would see people, like one person would come through and I would know too much about this person's business. Like, know too much. The person that I knew, she didn't look like me. Now, not that should be a factor, but nevertheless, there are some cultural things there that, that were a little bit of a barrier. But this woman would always question someone's money. The person that she would question that was supposed to be her friend did look like me. So for me, my spidey senses would kick in because I'm like, it's not my business to pocket watch, right? Like I don't do that. Like, it's none of my business. Do what you want. If you want to live your best life now and not save, or maybe she is saving, I don't know. I don't care, to be honest, because it's none of my business. As long as she's healthy and happy and taking care of her family and her children and everything, why are you so concerned about what's going on in her life? But what's interesting about that was she would tell me all this information about this woman. And when I met this person, I'm going to be honest, she was actually lovely. She was really nice. I mean, we weren't besties. I can't remember her name, but she was really cool. But it just made for an awkward situation because here I am having to act like I don't know what's going on. But then the same woman would tell me about somebody else who was going through a tough time. Some tragic things happened to this person that I won't talk about here because I think that this app likes to, censor certain words. But let's just say that the woman that she was talking about, her boyfriend decided that he no longer wanted to be here on this earth and shared that sentiment live on a FaceTime. Talk about the trauma of that. And I'm sitting here thinking about like all this information she's sharing with me about her so-called friends and information she shared to me about herself. So I already knew she doesn't need to know too much about me, because if this is how she treats her long-term friends. So anyway, this same woman, I remember when she did something that I was like, oh no. And so when you start showing me things and then you do something to me that I'm like not a fan of. So what I did was I just isolated this person. Iced her off. I don't want to fight with you. I don't even want to engage. Okay? Just don't engage. And the person who committed the offense, a lot of apologizing and fake tears. Now, I explained to her, I'm like, you don't get to give me white woman tears when you're the one who offended me, and now you want to give white tears as if like you're just so sorry, can you forgive me? And I'm like, don't come to me with these tears. But the interesting thing about it was, after all of this, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, and letter writing and trying to be fake nice, me knowing what I know about her and the times that I've shielded her from when people were saying certain things and there was some anger because her not being at work or whatever, it was really interesting when I decided, like, okay, just give this person nothing. And I hadn't thought about her for years, and now I run into this person occasionally. As much as I know about her, I never chose to divulge her real personal information. And that's not to say that I know a whole lot. I just know that if I were to start talking, it would be salacious. I was never really interested in doing that. I'm going to be honest. It's just not a thing we're all human, we're all flawed. But it's interesting. I mentioned the situation with Kenya on the Real Housewives show. I mentioned a situation with myself. And then in my daily goings-ons and interactions with other people, I listen to people talk, especially when friendships end. Some people are good about just zipping it up, and some people are not. And this is what I wanted to say. If you were a trustworthy person during the time that you've had a friendship, when that friendship falls apart, that is not the time to release everything you know about it, unless it's like something harmful, like, hey, I think this person was thinking of unaliving somebody, something crazy, right? That is not the time to release information on someone. And when I see stuff like that, when you're willing to say, like, let me tell you about so-and-so after something has ended, I'm like, okay, I don't want to talk to you either. Because if I take the time to let you into my personal space, and let's say 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 20 seconds from now, yes, you're right, CBR kid. When I see that, and now you want to just start flapping your gums, or is it bumping your gums? I forget what the terminology is. When you start doing that, I'm thinking, wow. See, I don't really need to be close friends with you either. Because if I should hurt you intentionally or unintentionally, I think most people nowadays don't want to do that, right? And you decide, we're no longer friends, but let me tell you about her. I'm like, see, that means you're only trustworthy when it suits you, or you're only of good character when it suits you. You're only, upstanding when it suits you. So now something that may have been told to you in confidence, now you want to go out there because you're no longer friends with a person and hurt this person, ripping off the scab to, you know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? So when I see these things, I'm like, well, we don't need to be close either. I don't want to be, I can just be cordial and be cool. Now, I'm not saying this has happened to me recently, but it was just like something that made me think, let me do this live on this particular topic. And I think it's not even just womanhood, I would say adulthood. I think men do a better job of, weeding out some of the noise. And I hate having to go out of my way to big up men because, men always have, they're always affirmed in society. But there are certain things that I believe that men get right. That's not to say that men can't be carrier gossip, but I rarely hear that. I don't hardly ever hear my husband gossip about anything. I really think that he just doesn't care. I told him, I was like, you're the man with no soul. He just doesn't get involved. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to be bothered. He just wants to sit on that tacky couch in the basement and smoke a cigar and have his little drink. I just think that women get so caught up in things that don't even matter. And then if something ends, it's like they want to go out of their way to hurt the other person. Let me tell you what this, that, and the other. I'm like, get yourself together. But yeah, friendships are not based off of that. If you're going to sit there and be somebody's friend, then even if you're not friends with them, what you don't do is go around telling, leave the couch out of this. Now that couch, this couch is becoming a problem. This couch is a problem for me. I might need to go get some therapy and get on somebody's couch about this couch. All right, so I know this is going to be tacky. I'm going through the Chick-fil-A line so I can get a parfait. I need a parfait for breakfast. My kids ate up all the food, so since I'm on my way to work and I don't have any yogurt, I don't have anything, I have to get a parfait because my kids are greedy. All right, I don't want you guys to really see me ordering, so let me go ahead and end here. Hey, look, subscribe and hit the like button. All right, Black Opinionated Woman out.